if we had a better structure, I thought I had some kind of stuff in mind to say geopolitical zones, and we had a plan that every geopolitical zone must have a power station, for example. That means we have a minimum of 6 strong power stations.
Yes. It's very important that we embrace these investors.
I think what they want to do now is to be able to make them understand that, look, going forward, it's not going to be business as usual. Whatever that may be happening in the past, we want to now be able to put a system in place that will checkmate, correct the ills of the past, give us a new pedestal from which to stand and operate going forward.
Officially, what we get in the country, 79% is from crude, foreign exchange, 11.
Hello, good to have you on the program again. It still remains the economy today on KAFTAN television. This is Okechukwu Bobo, and of course what we normally do here is to try the best we can within the time limit to emphasize certain spots, certain points that will enable us ensure that the economy is mentioned somehow around you and that you get to know what to do with it, even to how it will be made better for you. Good to have you again, I say. Welcome to the program. I have my guest already seated with me, but you're not going to see my guest for now. We're going to see my guest much later. But we want to start with some other things first of all. We have in the segments as we have on the program, we have the stock exchange. Apart from the stock exchange, we have the financial stories or other business news, and we also have the discussion segment. So right away, let's begin with the stock exchange, because it's part of the things we talk about on the program. And so on our stock exchange today, we are making reference to what we have seen earlier, and that is saying that the stock exchange began on the trading activity based on the trend from last week, the way it has happened from Thursday 16 to Monday 20th, that is today. The volume and value were active. The market maintained bullish momentum into the weekend. And looking at it on the whole, the NGX All Share Index 243,462.13 points, up 1316.52 points. As at 0.54%, and the market capitalization 157 naira 6 kobo. That is in trillion. 157.06 trillion naira. That's a market capitalization, and the year-to-date return or year-to-date return is 56.45%. And trading activity based on that trend, as I've mentioned to you, the way it has come. And looking further into it, we have the context that there are people that we had as top gainers and losers. So, as I said, it did start with gains extending the rally from last week, and the official close before the day was 243,462.13, 0.54%, with market capital of 157.06 trillion. That's what we just had there. Then I also want to check to also say that even as it went on, there were definitely people who made some gains and people who also came on as always, as we said. But it's not all of it that you will get to see right away, but much later in the day, because this is the early part of Monday, so we'll be able to say it will just hold on to a little later for you to see, for us to see the rest. But then the latest available data is what I'm talking about, that I can say that we have for now. I did mention that the market capitalization is 158.49 trillion naira. This is a brand new one, and 158.49 trillion naira, and the year-to-date return is 56.45. And the trading activity volume is 145.59 million shares. The market breadth 145.59 million shares. That's what they are trading on at a time like this. And then market breadth 16 advancers and 7 decliners. There were 123 unchanged positions. That is all positive anyway. And among the top movers, we had we have top gainers. We have Boa Cement. Boa Cement got to 303 naira 10 kobo per share, and at 9.98%, 303 naira per 10 kobo per share at the rate of 9.98%. While other gainers were there, but then the top losers, we have ABC Transport, that is ABC Trans as they normally brief it, losing 9.62%. That is losing 7 naira 5 kobo in its business. And the last full close, as for the last is, if I just read it as it were, all share index 243,462.13. That is at 0.54%. Market capital 157.06 trillion naira. Volume 685.79 million shares in 44,074 deals. And the breadth is 34 gainers, while we have 23 losers. And First Holdco was among the top gainers, 9.97% to 99 naira 95 kobo. And top loser, Red Star Express, 9 naira 50 kobo to 29.50% rather to 20 naira. That is the way it is as right now. That's what we can say. And that is also where we would let the story of the stock exchange be at a time like this. But then we'll get on to the next thing that we have apart from the stock exchange. We have the order that we normally show you. We have the page there. So let's see it, the monetary review. Banks keep 4.54 trillion naira with CBN as cash piles up in financial system. Nigerian banks deposited an average of 4.54 trillion naira with the Central Bank of Nigeria last week as excess cash in the banking system continued to rise. The amount is 29% higher than the 3.52 trillion naira banks kept with the Apex Bank the previous week, showing that lenders had more money than they needed for day-to-day operations. The deposits were made through the CBN's Standing Deposit Facility, SDF, a platform that allows banks to earn interest by safely keeping surplus funds with the central bank. Banks received large inflows from maturing government securities, customer deposits, and other sources, leaving them with excess funds. Instead of rushing to lend the money to other banks or customers, which carries some risks, they chose the safer option. Many banks were also cautious ahead of the CBN's Monetary Policy Committee, that is MPC meeting, and rather than commit funds before knowing whether interest rates would change, they preferred to wait. Figures obtained from what we have seen from through the CBN withdrew about although the CBN withdrew about 3.70 trillion naira from the banking system through open market operations, OMO, and another 1.19 trillion naira through treasury bill sales. Fresh cash flowed back into the system as earlier OMO investments matured and other funds were released. As a result, the banking system still ended the week with more cash than it needed. Excess liquidity rose to an average of 4.44 trillion naira, up from 4.10 trillion naira a week earlier. Because banks had enough money available, the cost of borrowing among themselves remained low. The overnight lending rate, which measures what banks charge each other for short-term loans, dropped slightly to 22.1% from the previous week. Analysts said the large amount banks kept with the CBN suggests that they chose to play safe by parking excess cash with the central bank instead of lending it aggressively in the interbank market. This cautious approach also reflected expectations ahead of today's meeting of the MPC, as I have mentioned, the Monetary Policy Committee, where interest rate decisions are made. The abundance of cash was also reflected in the treasury bills. Investors showed a strong interest, especially in 364-day treasury bill, with demand far exceeding the amount offered by the CBN. Analysts also said many investors were eager to lock in current yields before the MPC announces its policy decision, in case interest rates change in the coming month. Trading in the secondary treasury bills market also remained positive as investors continued to buy government securities, causing yields to decline slightly across most maturities. Again, market analysts expect liquidity to remain strong in the coming weeks as more OMO investments mature and the federal government pays in interest on its bonds. However, they noted that the federal government upcoming bond auction could absorb part of the excess cash in the system, although it is unlikely to create any serious shortage of funds. According to the analysts that we talked with, unless inflation rises sharply or the CBN introduces tougher measures to withdraw cash from the financial system, banks are expected to continue keeping large sums with the Apex Bank because there is still plenty of money circulating within the banking sector. And I wouldn't forget to say thanks to Chinwendu Obienyi for getting us up to speed with this. And from that particular one from Chinwendu Obienyi, we want to get another one from Dare Olawi and Damilola, that also helped us to get this one, talking about the dollar sale rule. The marketers halt Dangote fuel loading and the FG steps in. Marketers of petroleum products have stated that the loading of fuel has been put on hold at the Dangote Petroleum Refinery following the facility's decision to sell fuel in dollars. Many marketers said on Sunday that recently that the facility was not even loading its trucks, sparking fear of possible fuel tightness across the country. But the refinery denied the claim, arguing that fuel loading was ongoing within the Lekki-based plant. Petroleum marketers said they suspended large-scale fuel loading in the last few days as they await clarity on the new pricing template being adopted by the refinery. They also await the cost of newly imported petroleum products. The development heightened uncertainty in the downstream petroleum sector, with marketers wary of buying large volumes of petrol at the prevailing prices only to see the cost of the product fall shortly after. The National Publicity Secretary of the IPMAN, that is Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, Chinedu Okadike, in an interview said marketers were being forced to adopt a cautious approach because of the uncertainty surrounding the next price of petrol. The issue is simple. Marketers are not buying because they are trying to look at the market dynamics. Whatever we are using today is existing product in tank farms, which we are buying around 1,250 naira and 1,300, Okadike said. He said the uncertainty had been worsened by the expected arrival of new crude supplies and imported petrol, whose pricing templates remained unclear. The problem we are now facing is that this new crude oil that they are bringing, what will be the template? Also, those who have brought in petroleum products and are given licenses are also estimated to place their price at 1,350 naira, which marketers are also wary of, he stated. Okadike said marketers were therefore reluctant to load large volumes because they could not predict whether the price of petrol will rise or fall after they had purchased the product. So everyone is just skeptical about loading products because when you load, you don't know the next price, if it's going to reduce or go higher. You are still expected to consumers to sell at the prevailing price, he said. And so, according to him, uncertainty has not completely halted the distribution of petrol, but has significantly reduced the volume being loaded by marketers. He urged the federal government to intervene and resolve the dispute over the pricing template, warning that continued uncertainty could further disrupt the downstream market. The federal government has to look inwards and resolve the issue once and for all. This template issue should be resolved immediately. That's what the Okadike mentioned. And then, looking at all these things, there are officials of Dangote that have also denied all that they have said, saying a spokesperson from Dangote Group dismisses the report as fake news, accusing marketers of spreading false information. The spokesman told reporters that the refinery had not stopped loading petroleum products. The refinery is loading. Anybody can go there to check. That's fake news to say we are not loading. The official, who pleaded not to have his name in publicity due to the sensitive nature of the matter, stated. He noted that the marketers importing petrol were finding it difficult to compete because prices in Lome, Togo had risen, making it increasingly difficult to match Dangote's prices. That is what they have there. And in order for us to conclude under this monetary review, we have the price of petrol. Brent crude oil is $84.78, and it is a reduction of 0.20%, while West Texas Intermediate crude oil is at $79.44. It's also a reduction of 20%, 0.20%. And then for natural gas is 2.85, so $2.85. That is a reduction of 2.50. Well, there are others that are there, but then the important ones are the ones we have taken, the ones that concern us as far as all these are concerned. And that is how we'll conclude what we have from the monetary review. And thank you so much for being part of it and listening as we went down that story, as it were, or those stories as it were. Right away, I want to say thank you still for being there and keep being part of what we have. And right now, we will get into the topic itself. We want to look at what we have, the matter we want to discuss. But then, a slight break will bring us back in, and we'll start with the discussion for the day. And here we are, still continuing with the program, of course, the economy today. And I have got my guest, as I did mention that my guest is already seated, and she's been here quite early, and she's still with me. I am talking about someone looking at the topic of the day. You get to think about the person, the kind of person that should be on the program today. Because the topic of the day says stress management and staying mentally healthy. And so it's not out of place if you hear that I brought in a mental health coach to talk to us on the program today. And I have got someone that is special to me, that is a mental health coach that I normally bring onto this program. I'm talking about Tayo Lani. Pleasure having you on the program again, ma.
My pleasure, always, sir.
Thank you so much for being. Right, we're glad you're here, ma. Looking at it, staying mentally healthy. It's for everybody in Nigeria, honestly, for us to think of how to stay healthy mentally. But then, the main thing is stress management. How do we go about this? Because I believe you believe that there is stress everywhere in this country today. I hope so.
Yes, sir.
And there is stress for the man that goes to work and gets to have little money or even no money when he's coming back from work. He hasn't been paid for a while. And the ones that are being paid are getting peanuts as take-home pay. And then again, there is the stress for the woman that's at home that is waiting for the husband to bring the money so as to use it to go to the market to buy. The woman gets to the market that there is trouble. almost nothing remains the same. And at the end of the day, she still manages to just anyhow do something and perform, I must say, some miracles, because women perform miracles these days. With the little money they go to the market, they come back and do something that everybody at home will find something to eat. Again, there is also the stress on the part of school owners who want people to pay, and then to pay the amount of money they want to pay so that they can take care of their teachers and all that. There is also stress management for those who are the operators of stores who are working, and they want to kind of get back their money. So many people are borrowing, and paying back is a problem. They still want to maintain their businesses. Today, they mentioned that some people, some businesses have taken to another style, and that style is doing online marketing, kind of, and they are closing their workplaces. You know, these MSMEs, they are closing their stores and all that because they have not been able to find enough money with which to pay for house rent and pay for the rent for their stores. So stress everywhere. How do we do this?
Okay, thank you so much, and it's my pleasure being here again.
Yes, thank you.
Stress is normal, is a normal part of life, but living constantly in stress is not. So we have already adopted it that stress is part of everything that, you know, we just develop coping skills to be able to manage ourselves. And to go further, I just want to simply say that stress is the body's natural response to pressure, to challenges, or to change. It prepares us to react quickly through what some scientists call fight, flight, and freeze response. So in order to be able to maintain stress, to cope with stress, we have to find a way to fight until we win. We have to find a way to take a flight, that means to run away from it, or to just find a way or to adapt to what stress is. And I want to say, in a way, stress is also good for us in a way, in the process that it makes us to work hard, it makes us to also meet deadlines and to solve problems. So, and the real problem begins when stress becomes chronic. You know, when we overlook it, when we don't put our minds, you know, to work out things to be able to, you know, manage stress, that's when it becomes a problem. So, and stress is the body's natural response to pressure, you know, and challenges or change, like I said. And stress, you know, we go through stress through different ways. And some stress come as a result of financial difficulties. Some comes as relationship conflicts. You know, some come as a result of difficulty in parenting and meeting up to, you know, up to parenting responsibilities. Some comes by, you know, caring for the sick in the hospital. So, and the way to maintain stress is, the best part is to manage it. Be conscious that something is happening, something different is happening, something is, you know, taking over one's body. And how we get to know that the stress is affecting us, you know, are in different forms. We have the physical way, we have the emotional part, we also have the mental part, we have the behavioral part, and I would like to list some of them. And the physical part is when for you to know that you're going through so much stress, you begin to feel headaches, you feel fatigue, you're always tired, you feel, you know, poor sleep, you can't sleep, you're on your bed, but your mind is working. Many of us, we say, I'm going to sleep, and that sleep is not sleep.
It's not
because
sleep.
Mentally you are working, you are not at rest.
Everywhere, the mind
so
has
your
gone all
mind
over the
has
world.
calculated. Some people have traveled down to their village,
Yes.
some have traveled to their workplace, some have traveled to their business centers. Meanwhile, the business has closed for the day, but the business is still on in their mind. So, and some people have traveled outside the country. Some are also thinking about their marriage that is not working. their bosses, that the difficulty, difficult boss that they have, the pain that they are going through, inability to be able to maintain 3 square meal, inability to be able to feed the family or pay fees or pay rent. So much has captivated the mind, and some have, in the process, as the process of thinking too much, it ends up having high blood pressure, and some, in the process of having high blood pressure, illness, sickness, one disease will now take over, muscle pains and all that. So, and stress can also be called, I talked about the emotional part, that the stress can also cause irritability. When you see somebody just suddenly start getting angry unnecessarily, you know that this is part of stress. So sometimes it's not about what you did. It's out of every anger, or out of everyone screaming or shouting, there's an undertone that there's something wrong. It's more than what the person is angry about. Then sometimes it brings up anxiety, and it brings up feeling overwhelmed, then mood swing. This moment you feel good, the next moment you're not feeling good, and then loss of motivation. People are trying to fight for their life to ensure that they fulfill destiny, but you have lost hope. You are not ready to fight anymore. Some have given up. In the process, some people are thinking about suicide. Some people are thinking about just running away. Some don't even mind dying. They wish for death. They pray for death, but death is not forthcoming. So when you begin to go through this, you know that emotionally you've been attacked by stress. And then another way to know that you've been attacked by stress, I talked about the mental aspect. Sometimes forgetfulness. When you see yourself begin to forget things, you were told about a deadline and you can't even remember, or your spouse spoke to you and you can't remember. And then absent-mindedness too is also part of it. Sometimes you are talking to you, but you are not there. I remember a lady I was talking to. I was telling her so much, telling her about a lot of things that that needs to be done, and her mind was not there at all, as if I was just, until I observed. I looked at the point, I kept quiet, and she didn't know that I was quiet. Then I had to now tap her, and then the way she just frightened, the way she shook her body, and I said, my dear, take it easy. Take it easy. A step at a time. Live a day, live a day at a time. Don't rush it. God knows best, and God will perfect everything that has to do with you. So a lot of people are going through a lot of chronic stress. I told you that stress is actually good because it helps us to meet up with challenges, deadlines. But when it becomes chronic, then we should pay attention to it. And then some, they have racing thoughts, and some have constant worry. They are always worrying. Worrying will never change circumstances. Worry will never change things. As long as you keep worrying, it's affecting you mentally. And then last one I talked about is behavioral signs of stress. So, and one is, overeating and loss of appetite. Sometimes you just see yourself, you just want to eat everything because you're dealing with stress. You just finished a bowl of, let's say, swallow. The next minute you just want to be snacking. The next minute you want to be eating that. You just don't want to stop. You just know that. Or sometimes you just lose appetite totally. Everything is just irritating to you. You don't feel like eating. You see the food looks like sand. You don't feel like eating it. Then withdrawal from loved ones. When you begin to see people withdraw, you just know that this is behavioral signs of stress. People withdrawing from each other. A spouse withdrawing from the other spouse, children withdrawing from parents, like that, and then workers too withdrawing, then you should know that it calls for an attention. Excessive alcohol. Some now move into the aspect of taking alcohol and drugs and substances just to maintain themselves. When the person becomes so excessive in drinking alcohol. I remember there was a man who has 6 children, if I can remember, in Lagos, and after he lost his job. His wife is just, she sells petty things. She's a petty trader, and he lost his job. He couldn't come home. He went straight to the bar, got himself drunk, and then came back. you know. And you know, he didn't come back. I think he had to beckon on the wife to come and pick him up where he fell. So stress, taking too much excessive alcohol can also cause it. Then spending too much time on online. When you see somebody spending up to 5 hours, 6 hours scrolling through the line, entering Facebook, entering Instagram, TikTok, you just keep scrolling, spending all your time over the internet, you're going through behavioral signs of stress. And then the last one is anger outbursts.
So this, so this one that has to do with people still scrolling and scrolling so, endlessly.
It's part of stress.
Oh my God.
Chronic stress. Because on a normal day, you will if you have things to do, you will be able to discipline yourself, you know, from spending so much time just scrolling and not doing anything. And then some of the things that you are seeing will get you more angry. Because you see somebody that, you know, is not working as hard as you are, doing well on the internet. Some that didn't even go to the school that you went. You know, like this, what do they call it, Pella? That they call Olodo Uprising. Olodo Uprising. So,
and he's making all the money.
And he's making all the money. And now he's preparing for his wedding. And people are donating millions for his wedding. He went to meet, what's his name? There's this man he went to meet and you got like 10 million from one person. You can imagine what he's getting from other people. So when you begin to see that, there's a way it aggravates you, gets you angry, and before you know it, you're already building up tension in your body, building up stress. You begin to compare yourself with them. See, this boy that does have a secondary school certificate, I am already maybe a master holder or a PhD holder or even a degree holder, and I'm not near to where I'm supposed to be. So it's part of it. So
this is serious. This is serious. Okay, you are talking about the last one. Sorry, I had to cut you. Anger outburst.
Yeah. So, and we're talking about anger outburst. Sometimes you've not really done anything serious that warrants anybody shouting or screaming or reacting to that point. You see the person reacting so bitterly. You'll be wondering what's wrong with this person. Is it the little thing I just said I want to do? Or you understand? Like I was counseling one of my clients and she was telling me that she just told the husband that she wanted to go for a program, and the husband now started shouting, "Why do you want to go? You will not leave the children for who? You will not," and started shouting, screaming and everything. I told her, I said, this is beyond where, is it because I just said I'm going out? So does it warrant the shouting and the outburst? I said it's beyond that, it's stress. There's something eating him up. And then he will look for every opportunity to take advantage of by pouncing on you. So it's beyond you. So what you just need to do is just to try and understand that he's going through something and help him. Because most times when we don't understand that this person is going through something, then that was when we begin to react in a negative reaction. And then by the time you react in a negative way, it now fuels up, the situation. It makes it, wider than it is. It's just like pouring petrol into fire.
Yes.
So we need to manage anger. Yes. So it's not everybody that shout and scream. There are underlying tones. There are a lot of things beneath that is affecting that person, and the person is just taking it on, an innocent person. So let's try and understand what is going on in Nigeria is enough to make us go through stress. Is enough to go through stress. And when stress becomes dangerous, there's a lot of things that happens. We have anxiety disorders, we have depression setting in, we have burnout. A lot of people are already burnt out. People need to go and rest and and just regain themselves back. A lot of heart diseases. You've heard a lot of people die from their sleep. A lot of people have heart attacks. Diabetes can come through unhealthy coping and physiological, aspects. Then poor immunity, then relationship problems. So these are what stress, contribute to in our health if we don't take care of our health. So your body keeps score. Your body keeps scores. That means it keeps a record. If stress is ignored long enough, it eventually speaks through physical illness and emotional exhaustion. So your body has an ability to keep recording every stress that you go through. And if you don't find time to ease off the stress, it keeps piling. And in the process of piling up, there could now, it could now result to physical illnesses and then emotional exhaustion. So we need to put a watch over it.
Okay. I want to ask, some people spend time to watch movies. Some people would spend time to listen to music. A lot of time. And if you ask them, they say they are trying to remove stress. They are trying to calm their nerves. How true is that? Concerning what you're saying now, I mean, since someone's scrolling for too long, they have a problem.
Yes, I'm not saying normal scrolling. Normal scrolling, yes, you can
scroll
for normal.
definitely.
Those excessive ones,
yes.
too much of everything is bad.
It's bad, yes.
So excessive one. But actually, one of the ways to ease off stress, everybody has a way, is listening to music. It's therapy.
Okay.
Like, it helps me whenever I'm going through too much stress. I put music, so that I sleep with the music. I can put music on around, and music that has inspirational words, words of comfort, words of encouragement, and words of hope. So when I play them at the background, like our Christian music, a lot of them have such, and it begins to encourage one, it begins to build hope and all that. So music is a very good therapy for you to come out of any mental stress. And another thing that is good too is comedies. There are times when you are going through all those anxiety, your heart is racing, you're having that, you just feel that palpitation and heart raising, and you just want to ease yourself of anxiety. Another good way is watching movies, which comedy, something that will make you laugh. So as you laugh, you ease out that pressure in your heart. You ease it out. Another thing is exercise.
Okay.
Exercise helps. You take a walk, you can run, you can jump, you can go to the gym. All that they are all therapeutic. They help for you to ease out stress, because it's not good for stress. I told you that the body keeps a score. It keeps record of stress. So, but the more you do all these things I've mentioned, it begins to really, it eases it off. It makes you get relieved.
Okay, thank you so much. We are still going to talk about some of the solutions, because what we've just stressed, we've just mentioned all of them and their impact on the lives. But we're still going to talk more about solutions. I remember this song. I don't know why it keeps coming to my mind since I've been sitting here. We're talking about stress. So maybe I think it's also something that can help someone knock it off. I remember this song that Johnny Nash played some years ago. It says, I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles on my way. Then he went on to say, it's gonna be bright. Gone are the dark clouds that made me blind.
Okay.
Then it's gonna be bright, bright, sun-shining day. And I'm thinking about it. When there are these problems all around us, and there are obstacles, there are things that made us blind, dark clouds all around, and obstacles that prevent us from doing things. And one major thing, we take time to rest or listen to good music, and these obstacles seem to be gone, and we begin to expect a bright, sun-shining day. Including those people who are looking for money, when maybe salaries are not being paid, but they are struggling, and one day all of a sudden money comes in. You see the person cheering up and thinking so happy, because some of the things that they worried over while sleeping, just as you mentioned, someone will be in bed, but his mind is all over the world.
Racing the whole world.
And so I think more of solutions is what I want to say. Can we think about now?
Okay.
Yes.
So solutions, that's how to live mentally healthy. Number one, you have to prioritize your sleep. Prioritize your sleep. Like me, I don't joke with my sleep. When the time comes for me to rest, I make sure I rest. When I'm feeling too much stress, I ensure that I rest. Your brain repairs itself during sleep. That's what people don't understand. Your brain repairs itself. Every adjustment comes when you are asleep, and it's good we sleep at least 7 to 9 hours for most adults for us to get results. So sleep is very important if you want to live mentally healthy. And number 2 is to move your body. You know, I've mentioned it before, the idea is therapeutic, that exercise
yes,
reduces stress hormone and increases endorphins. Exercises reduces stress hormones and increases endorphins. So it's very important that every day at least you should take like a 30 minutes walk. You should dance. You know, sometimes I see people in church, like we Christians, the music is going on, some people are standing, let me not say everybody, few people are still standing still. Exercise, those people that dance it out, you are reducing, you know, the stress hormone that have piled up in your body. Just like I said that our body has a way of storing stress. So when you dance, you relieve yourself of those stressing hormone. So you can do gardening too. Go out and then farm, or just, you know, go to
the back of your house.
Back of your house.
If you have some space.
Yes, you have some space, and it helps to also relieve stress hormones. Then stretching. Sometimes you just go out, you just stretch, you know, take a walk out. It may not be a serious walk, just within your room. You can stretch. You can, you know, sometimes you can just stretch yourself. You know, it helps, you know, to reduce all those stress hormones. So number 3 way of how to, you know, take off stress from your body is talk about your feelings. Talk about your feelings. Many of us bottle up pain. Many of us keep quiet. Silence does not always heal pain. Instead, it stores it up, it compounds it. Because when you are quiet, you are bottled up.
Yes.
And anything bottled up, it remains intact. But when you speak out, there is a relief. So it reduces it. So I always want to encourage people whenever I have the opportunity to, or anytime I'm on my counseling table, I always encourage people to talk to trusted friends, talk to family, talk to trusted family, talk to a trusted counselor, a counselor that can keep, you know, that will get your back, that, you know, and then talk to trusted pastors and imams for the Muslims. Talk to them. Let them know what you're going through so that you can ease yourself, because the more you pile up, it results to illnesses. So it's good that we always open our mouth to talk. So number 4 way to get healed or stress, the solution to stress is set healthy boundaries. Put healthy boundaries in place, you know. Learn how not to don't be the Superman or the Superwoman that we want to do everything. When you are tired, learn to say, I'm tired, please, can I rest? Learn to say no and feel good about saying your no can be how do I say it? Your no can be anointed.
Yes.
Your no too you can say it with respect.
The kind of no that can help you bring healing to yourself.
Thank you. So it's not because you just want to satisfy someone and you are dying.
I think
you want to impress somebody to the detriment of your health.
Let me take this from you
learn
here
to say no.
and mention it, because some people don't ever say no.
Yeah.
And
I was in that place too.
And
I had
they
to learn in a hard way.
A whole lot.
Yes.
From it. I know someone that has little pay, but people from every corner, both the village and everywhere, cities and everywhere around, because they look at him and say, he's okay, he's looking good, he's working in a place that is good. They will all carry their problems and lay it on this man. And the painful thing is that it's so difficult for him to say no. He will want to do everything to help each and every one of them that have brought one problem or the other. And at the end of the day, he even most of the time goes home having nothing at all, because he doesn't know how to say no. And so such people need to be counseled.
I know one man who entered into debt from not learning to say no. His mom will call him, he will send. His father will call, he will send. His siblings will call, he will send money. He will keep sending to the point that it's not that he doesn't have, and they'll call him at all times he didn't have, and he will go and borrow
from wherever.
Before you know it, he has so much debt in him, on him, I mean. And then before you know it, stress came in. Before you know it, he had failure, and he died in the process.
And those fellows that
those debtors,
things.
the person that he was owing didn't forgive him even at death. They were disturbing his wife. The wife had to pay the debt.
And the ones that were calling and disturbing, none of them will come to help.
None will come to help. So learn to say no.
And the annoying thing is that they will still be alive while he is gone.
Protecting your peace is not selfish. Protecting your peace is not selfish. So learn to say no, and say it in a respectful way. Say it, I would say, in an anointed way, because I say your no, my husband always say your no is anointed. So you can say no and then you feel good about it. Don't take everything.
No and
you can't do
good
everything.
About it.
Say no and feel good. Thank you. Say no and feel good about it. So number 5 way of reducing stress is reduce information overload. So constant news, like I talk about dumb scrolling, keep scrolling the internet and social media comparison. Too much overload. When you begin to see too much, you hear too much, you have so much inside of you, which, so reduce information overload. When you put a discipline, okay, I'm going to go through this for 15 minutes, for 30, and once it's 30 minutes, you can even set an alarm that will let you know that you've overcrossed your time. Yeah, you stop and get to something else to do. Just give your, I had to start doing that for myself too. I had to start giving myself time. Okay, time to do this, time to do that, time to do this, time to do that. Helps. So that helps very well. Then eat well. Number 6, eat well. Many people are not eating well. Eat well and eat good food. Eat balanced diet. Eat fruits, vegetables. Eat your carbohydrate, your 6 classes of food. Make sure they are intact, your protein and everything. Just make sure that you are eating well and don't overeat. Don't overeat.
Do you know why I'm laughing, madam? No. Is you said eat good and you're mentioning all these things. Some people can't even find one, and you're talking about all the 6 classes.
No, at least in a day you shall eat one of the class.
I mean,
today you get beans to eat is something.
Okay.
You get corn to eat another day. That's carbohydrate. Okay. So at least you cannot use the whole week to just eat carbohydrate all through. Okay. And then reduce those that are into alcohol. Reduce excessive alcohol, because intake of excessive alcohol is detrimental to your health.
And excessive intake of bread.
Is also too much of everything, sir, is bad. Too much of everything is bad. So let's just put it in moderation, and then we begin to see, even if you don't have all, just eat. Even if you are eating once a day, that once a day at least eat something that's meaningful. Thank you. And number 7, practice gratitude. Gratitude. Sometimes you feel your own is tougher, your own is more difficult, your own is more terrible. Until you listen to somebody else's story, then you now know that yours was better. Sometimes you feel you're suffering. Until you hear your neighbor or hear somebody out there going through pain, then you'll be able to appreciate, be able to appreciate what you're passing through. So I would like you to spend at least few minutes every day to just thank God. I prefer first thing in the morning when you wake up. Gratitude goes to God. And as you thank God, you begin to see things that He has done and not the one that He has not done. Just concentrate on the ones He has done. And as you make that gratitude, more will now come. Help can now come. But when you stay in the place of complaining, comparison, doing things that are not so, you are not supposed to be doing, or saying things you are not supposed to be saying, then it compounds your issue. But by the time you begin to look at the ones that God has done and appreciate, you get healed, you get better.
There is something
and
else.
You improve health-wise.
You talked about gratitude, and I'm now beginning to see it in a different way. I didn't know that gratitude, expression of gratitude, is also another way of knocking off stress from life.
Yes.
But as you said it, I started envisioning certain things. Like, look at the fact that this situation that somebody calls on the phone and says, I need some money. Please help me with something. Even if he doesn't say please, and you just say, then you decide to help. You send something to him or to her. And the fellow, rather than call back to say, oh, thank you, or even send a message to say, thank you so much. I received this amount of money. God bless you. And may you have more, please, and all that, and so on and so forth. The fellow will say, nonsense. In all the money he has, look at the little amount of money he's giving me.
That's ingratitude.
Look at the little amount of money he's giving, as though you gave the money to him to keep. So I think I've seen people who do this a lot. I've seen people do it a whole lot.
Yeah.
But now I've learned a lesson like from what you're saying.
Gratitude.
So
learn to appreciate the little that you have. Learn to appreciate it. When you appreciate, the appreciation is like a switch to multiplication.
See?
Sometimes when you appreciate God for the little or for what people do to you, even the person will want to help you more.
Yes.
There are people that have come to appreciate me for things, and I tell myself, when I have more, I will reach out to this person because this person is, grateful.
Yes.
But when you now have an ungrateful spirit, no matter what you're going through, nobody will come to your aid.
Yeah, exactly.
So gratitude is very important, an important element to healing. So. And then I think before the last is build healthy relationships.
Okay.
So isolation increases stress. So you need to spend time with people. Sometimes staying indoors can also compound more stress. Sometimes you just need to call people. Thank God for phone. Thank God for your internet.
Yes.
The way you have little for internet, you call, just gist and laugh is enough to ease off stress. Sometimes just walk to your neighbor's house or friends around or people outside and just play and talk. As you talk, you relieve yourself from stress. And then finally, so I think learn relaxation skills. Learn relaxation skills like slow, deep, slow breathing. You breathe in, you breathe out. When you see you are going through all those anxiety, there's a way, and then keep taking your breath exercise. Then we talk about meditation, then quiet reflections. We have prayer, and then take breaks when you are walking. Take little breaks. It helps you. And then finally, seek help. Seek help. Don't just stay and fold your hands. Sometimes you just need to ask before you can receive help. So seek help where you feel you'll get the right help.
In addition to all that you've said, what I got from what you said also is don't keep quiet and die in silence.
Exactly.
Say what you need. Say it to some people. Someone can help you.
Yeah.
But if you bottle it up inside you, it will kill you. So be careful not to die unnecessarily.
So that's why it's good to keep good relationship. I tell people that relationship is a currency for the future. Money cannot do everything for you, but relationship is the currency for the future.
You see?
So you need to build strategic relationships. And if you sit down in your house, you can't build relationships. You go out to build relationships. Build relationships when you go for programs, conferences. Sometimes you see conferences. You attend not just only to go to learn, but to also build relationships. You connect with people, and then those relationships, try to follow them up. Try to be there. Send simple messages as a welcome to a new month, prayer messages, encouragement messages. When the time comes that you need help and you speak to them, they'll be there for you. But when you don't build relationship, maybe it's the time you now need help. You are now sending texts. You met me, you've never followed me up, you've never asked how I'm doing, how my work is doing, or how my family is doing, or whatever, and then it's where you needed help. You now send me a text and say, "Madam, please, I need so." I will not attend to you because there is no relationship.
You're not her POS or his POS.
Yes, because there's no relationship.
Yes.
So they have to build relationship. Sometimes we do things for relationship's sake. We receive help for relationship's sake. So build healthy relationship. It will take you far.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Tayo. It's been a pleasure sharing the moments with you. Dear viewer, I know you have enjoyed this session. Stay with our mental health coach, Tayo Lani. Thank you so much for being here. And as always, it's always a pleasure. We pray that you'll come again soon. Thanks a lot.
Thank you too.
Well, dear viewer, that's how we'll round up what we've got with you today on this program, The Economy Today. And of course, what we've talked about is stress management. And under that stress management, we also try to say how we'll be able to be healthy, mentally speaking. And that's it for now. Thank you. Come again some other time. But before we take our leave eventually, finally, I must say thanks to Kajitan Pius, P. Kaji, as I always will call him, for being there to help to pick things the way we've done it today. Thank you. And to Victoria back in day, as well as George Omona, thank you so much for getting us here the way we are. Not forgetting Peace Godwin, that's still part of what is happening there. And of course, Adebayo, thank you so much, Sanusi. There is also Bright Chukubwe around, and a lot of other fellows, including the young man that is a capacity, that is a blissful capacity. Thanks to all of you for helping one way or the other to ensure that we have done this. And I won't forget Azumi Stella Izang. Thank you. You helped me to get this done. I'm grateful for that. Gratitude that she has even talked about today. I'm grateful for even the least you think you have done. Victor Chizea, Victor Deyeye, Olajuwon, talking about Olua Sheung, Adejuwon rather. Thank you so much. And Felix Akinjabola, thank you. My boss, I won't forget to mention Ruben Okala. Thank you so much. This is Okechukwu Onubogu. What have I got to say? May the very best happen to us all the time.